Welcome to Boostfad Academy Computer Tutorial Series. This is video number 8. In this tutorial, I will be discussing about the keyboard keys. All the keys in the keyboard, how do we use them, especially the special keys. We have to understand the use of these keys before we can work successfully on a computer system. So, like I said, there are 5 sections in the keyboard. The first one is alphanumeric keys, where we have alphabet and number. We have the numeric key at the right side of the keyboard, where we have only the number. We have the special keys that surrounded the alphanumeric keys. So each of these keys, we are going to take them one after the other. We have the arrow or cursor key, and we have the function keys. So we are starting with the first one, which is alphanumeric keys. So these keys are used for typing alphabets and number. If you want to type, so we use the alphabet. When you press any of the alphabet, it will appear on the screen. And if you need to type in numbers, you can use the numbers at the top of the alphabet. When you press on each of these number, it will appear on the screen. That's the use of alphanumeric keys. Then we have numeric keys in case you want to type numbers, or the work you are doing has to do with mere number. You can use the numeric key at the right side of the keyboard to make it faster. So for you to use numeric keys for some keyboard, you have to on the num lock. If you look at the top, you will see the key where they write num lock. It means number lock. If you don't hold the num lock, if you press any of the number, it may not appear on the screen. That is, the computer may not respond. That is, you have to on the num lock by pressing it. Once you press it once, it has on, and you can start using any of the keys. So like I said, so numeric key is used for typing numbers. So the third one is special keys. This is the one of the center area, main focus of this aspect, because we have to understand all the special keys, what each of these keys are used for us to be able to work successfully on a computer system. So like I said, so the special keys is used with other keys for special command, which means most of these keys, when we want to use them, we have to press them then alongside with other keys, and we have some that have their own specific function. So let's start with the first one, which is the escape key. ESC means escape. So escape key is used to cancel or stop a command. For example, if we pick a command and we want to stop that command, once we press escape, it will deactivate the command. Let's look for an instance. So this is a shape. Let's look at this side. We have the shape tools. If I pick on any of these shapes by clicking on any of them, like this one, this hexagon, as I click on it, if I come to the screen, if I click and drag, it will drop the shape. As long as I have not removed, I have not done any other thing, if I press escape, it will disappear. That is, it deactivate that option. If I do that again, if I press escape, it will disappear. But if I draw the shape and I still go ahead and draw another one, it means the first one I've drawn has already stayed. So even if I press escape, the second one can only disappear, but this first one will still be there. So that's what we use the escape key for, to deactivate a function. So the next one is the tab key. This is used to give file spacing before text. So for instance, let's go to our Word. As we know, if we want to type, let's type something. Computer can be defined as an electronic. So let me bold it for us to be able to see clearly. So we can see, as I started this paragraph, there is no space at the beginning of the paragraph. And normally, if we want to start a paragraph, we usually give space. So instead of us to be using space bar and be pressing it continuously so that we can have enough space, we can use tab. If we use tab once, you can see it gives like, so the range of that spacing is like 5 spacing before the text. And another advantage of using tab is that anytime you want to start a new paragraph, it will automatically put the spacing before the paragraph. So you can see that's the end of the text. You can see the blinking, that line blinking, we call it cursor. So if I go to the next paragraph, you will see the cursor automatically give some spacing. That's one of the advantages of using tab for spacing instead of using spacebar. If you use spacebar, by the time you are going to the next paragraph, you are still going to continue to be using the spacebar because it will not automate the spacing. So cap lock. We use cap lock to type in capital letter. So if you on the cap lock, any keys you press on the computer keyboard will be in capital letter. So if you have off the cap lock, so all the keys will be in small letter. Let us practicalize that. I'm going to use an on-screen keyboard for you to understand. We can see the keyboard. So this is an on-screen keyboard. This is cap lock. It will be written caps, and if it is not written, you can see the arrow like the keyboard I used. If we look at the keys, all the keys are in small letter. But if you come here and I hold the cap lock, if you hold the cap lock on your screen, all the alphabet you can see on the screen, everything changed to a capital letter, which means if I hold the cap lock, anything I type on my computer system now is going to be in capital. Let me remove this one from the screen. So let me start computer. So you can see as I'm typing, everything appeared in capital letter. If I hold the cap lock by pressing the cap lock again, you can see everything changed back to small letter. So if I type now, everything will be in small letter. So that is the use of cap lock. We use it to type in capital letter by holding the cap lock. Once we hold the cap lock, everything we do will appear in small letter. So the next key is the shift key. Below the cap lock, we have the shift key. So the shift is used with other keys for different functions. So shift key is one of the key we have to understand is used proper for us to be able to work on the computer system. Let's look at some of the work we use the shift key for. The first one is that the shift key is used for typing special characters. What do we mean by special characters? If we look at our keyboard, I will bring back your let's look at this keyboard. So let's look at the numeric keys. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But if we look at the top of it, there are some other character there. So like the exclamation mark. So like this one, normally under the 2 we used to have the art key. Let me bring the on-screen keyboard again for us to be able to understand it better. So this is an on-screen keyboard. So we can see under 1 we have the exclamation mark, under 2 we have the heart, but hearts at the top left corner. Under 3 we have the hash, which means with under each of the number we also have some other character. So it means for each of these keys we can use them to type any of the 2 characters. By default, when we type any of this letter, when we press any of the key, it is the character that appear boldly that will appear. So if I click on this one, it is 1 that will appear on the screen. So let me go back to an MS Word to illustrate that. So let me delete that. So now if I press 1, 1 will appear. If I press 2, 2 will appear. 3, 4, 5. The same thing with the letters Q, W, E. If I press any of these, even let's look at this special character. We can see something like we have here. We have semicolon. You can see if I press it, the semicolon will appear. But in a situation whereby we need the other character, like the exclamation mark, the heart, and the hash, and other one like that. So shift key is one of the things we do. You press down the shift key. You press it down without lifting your hand. Then you press any of them. Like the one, if I press down my shift, you can see the shift. It appears blue on the keyboard. It means I press it down without lifting my hand. So then if I press 1, it is the exclamation mark that will appear. If you have pressed 2, it is the heart sign. If I press 3, it is the hash. 2, it is the heart sign. If I press 3 without lifting my hand, it will be hash. If I press down the shift again, so it will be $sign. Same thing like that, which means any keys on the keyboard that you see 2 different characters appeared, if you need to type the other character, you have to press down the shift button before you press the key for you to get that character. So the next button we are going to, so like I said, we can also use shift key for highlighting. What do I mean by highlight? If you want to do anything on the computer system, you have to highlight first. So that, like what you see on the screen now, is what you call highlight. Let me bring some text. Now, if I want to highlight, assuming I want to give color to the first line, computer can be defined as an electronic machine. Let me put that, machine. So if I want to give color to that first line, so the way I will tell the computer that it is only the first paragraph I want to give this color is by highlighting the text. How do we highlight? You take your cursor, like I said, that line blinking, that's what we call cursor, to the beginning of the text. That's where the text. So then you press down the shift key. Let me bring back the on-screen keyboard. You press down the shift key, you can see it appear blue. Then you go to the arrow, the cursor key, you know, the 4 arrows, and you can see where we have our cursor. We have our cursor at the left side, and we want to highlight to the right side, which means we are going to use the right arrow key. You can see it highlighting as I'm pressing it one after the other. It's highlighting the text one after the other. So we can use it for highlighting text. So if the text you want to highlight are many, you can use down arrow. It will jump to the next line, so it will be line by line till you cover the whole text. So if you want to go back, if I press the up arrow, so you can see it's moving up. If I press the back arrow key, so it will going back character by character. So that's one of another functions of the shift key. We can use the shift key for highlighting, and at the same time we can also use the shift key for selecting objects. So we can use the shift key for selecting object. Let's take, for instance, let me bring some, as we have some files here. If I select the first one and I want to select multiple one, if I press that the shift key, so I can, then I use the arrow key. You can see that I have other items down. So if I want to select them like that, I will press the down arrow key, that is the down button. You can see as I'm pressing it, it's highlighting it downward. If I should lift my hand on the shift key and I press, all the highlight will disappear. So which means for you to highlight, you have to press down the shift key, then the text you want to highlight, then the control key. The control key, that's the last key. It's also one of the important keys that we have to understand under the special key. So the control key is used with other keys for special functions like text formatting. If we want to format text like bold, we want to italize it, giving it italic, or we want to underline. All those formatting requires the use of control key. So let's take for instance, if I want to bold the first paragraph, the first thing, like I said, to tell the computer that it is the first paragraph I want to bold is by highlighting the text. How do we highlight the text? We have the cursor at the last, after the last letter of the first paragraph. I can highlight it to the back by pressing the shift, then the back arrow key. The back arrow key. This is the back arrow key. This is the front arrow key. This is the up. This is down. If I press down the shift, then I will use this back arrow key by pressing it. So press down the shift, then back arrow key. You can see it will be highlighting it like that. So till I get to the last line. Now I covered everything. So if I press Ctrl, you press down the Ctrl, you can see it highlight. Then I press B, it will bold. If I want to unbold it, I will press B again. It will remove it from bold. So that's what we call formatting. If I want to bold it, Ctrl B. If I want to italize, to take it to italic form, Ctrl I. I will press down the Ctrl, I will press I. You can see everything looks slant. So, or if I want to underline it, I will press down the Ctrl. If I press U, it underline. So which means we use Control key alongside with other keys to do some special functions like text formatting, like I said, text formatting, or text formatting, or copy, cut, and paste. We can use it to copy, to cut, or paste text. This first line, I want to copy it, the one we formatted, and I want another copy of it after the second paragraph. Then what I'm going to do, I will highlight, just like I said, to tell the computer this is what I want to copy. Using shift and the arrow key, I've highlighted it. If I press Ctrl, I press down the Ctrl button. Let me bring down the out the on screen again. If I press down the Ctrl, I will press C. Nothing will appear, but the text has been copied. Then the next thing, you go to where you want the text to appear by taking the cursor. You can see the cursor is now blinking. That is where I want another copy of that text, those texts. So if I paste it, you can see it appear. We can use it for copy and paste. You can use it for cut and paste. Computer, this word computer, I want to remove it. I can cut it off. Ctrl X. You can see it disappeared. If I come down after the last paragraph, you can see where it's blinking. If I paste it there, the computer will appear there. That's what we call copy and paste. So that's another functions of the shift key. We can use it for copy, cut, and paste. Then the next one is alternate key. Alternate key is also used with other keys for special functions. So we don't have we don't mostly use alternate key when we are working on a computer system. We can use it to close a program. If we press down the Alt key, then we press F4, it will close a program. If we have many programs we open on our computer and we want to close any of them, we don't want to use it, you can use Alt plus F4. That means you press down Alt, then you press F4, so the program will close. We can use it to restart a computer, especially when your system is hanging. You are doing something and the system just hang and you are having issue, you can use the force restart. It will firstly close the program. How do you do that? You press Ctrl Alt Delete. Ctrl Alt Delete. We use 3 keys. You use your thumb to press down the control, or you use the index to press down the control. You use your thumb to press down the Alt. You just press the delete once. You will press both Ctrl Alt together, then you press the delete button once. So the next thing you say, it will force the program. The computer may bring an instruction. Do you want to shut down this computer, or do you want to auto restart? So that's another functions of the alternate key. Then we have the space bar to give space between our text. We have, so to give spacing between our text, just like I said, we have the enter key. So enter key, that is the key we use to go to the next line. You can see as I was typing, if I want to go to this next line, I will press enter. It will go to the next paragraph. You are working, you want to go to the next paragraph, you press enter. That is the work of the enter key. We also use enter key to accept. So we also use enter key to accept a command. So to accept an action, just like I said, if I want to save now, Ctrl S. If I want to save a document, it's loading. So after writing the name I want to use to save, computer, you can see the word save here. If I don't click on it, even if I use enter key, it will accept. So it will save the program. So that's another functions of the enter key, to accept a command. Then the next key is space bar. So I also want you to understand this better. We have space bar and we have the delete button. These two buttons, people used to get confused with them. So let's understand them better. The two of them are used for deleting. We use them to remove text from the screen. So what's the difference between the two of them? That's what we need to understand, and that's what I'm going to explain in this video. So to remove character to the left or to the right, if we want to remove character to the left, we use backspace. If we want to remove character to the right, we use delete button. What do I mean by removing character to the left and right? So let's go back to our Microsoft Word. So let me bring my cursor here. You can see the cursor blinking. At the back of the blinking, that's where we have that. At the front of which we have accept. At the back we have that. If I want to delete the text before that cursor that is blinking, so I will use the backspace. Let's look at it. If I press backspace, it will delete the spacing between them. If I press it again, it will delete the T. You can see, if I press it again, it will delete the A for that. If I press it, it will delete the H, delete the T. You can see, which means it's deleting to the what? To the left. But if I want to delete the text at the front of that cursor, that's what we use the delete button for. If I press delete, it will be deleting ACCEPT, ACCEPT. So it's deleting it them to the right. Those are the two differences between the backspace and the delete. We have to understand these two buttons better. So like I said, backspace is used to delete to the left, while the delete key is used to delete text to the right. The next one is arrow or cursor keys. I've been using these keys and I've described it many times. It is used for selecting or removing or moving cursor, while the last one is function keys, that is the F keys. We use the F keys along with other keys for command. At least I've mentioned few of the use of the function keys, like refreshing page. When we are browsing and this is hanging, we want to refresh the page, we can use the function keys. We can use the function key F5. If we press F5, it will refresh the page. If we want to close a program, we can use Alt F4. We press down the Alt key, we press F4, it will close the program. So those are some of the functions of the function keys. So in summary, I have highlighted the sections of the keyboard, each of the keys we have there. Like I said, the alphanumeric keys is used for typing alphabet and number. Numeric keys is used for what? Typing number. We have the special key. We are started from escape key, tab key, cap lock, shift, control, alternate key, space bar, enter key, backspace, and the delete key. All these keys I've explained how to use each of them. We have the cursor or arrow key, which we use to move the cursor around the screen or to select texts. We have function keys, and I've explained each of these keys. So in my next video, I will be taking all the control keys. Control, we have from Ctrl A to Ctrl Z, Ctrl A, Ctrl B, Ctrl C, Ctrl D, down to Ctrl Z. Each of these control, we have to master them for us to be perfect, for us to be accurate in using computer system. So thank you very much for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel, like the video, and share it with others for you to receive notification each time I drop another tutorial on this tutorial series. Once again, thank you very much. Until the next tutorial, I say bye for now.